can we talk about Ginwag and your
Yeah.
different kind of webinar series and stuff?
Yes.
What is it?
So Ginwag is a podcast that I started through lockdown. I guess before lockdown, I was a keen networker. I loved being out in Newcastle, networking in business groups, in marketing groups, in anything actually that I felt was relevant to me and my journey at the time. So I was very active on the kind of networking scene. And then lockdown hit, and I hated the online networking. It
It's
wasn't for
awful.
me at all. I just really, I couldn't find my place. I couldn't find my voice. I was bored on most of the calls and like texting at the side. So I just stopped doing it. But after I stopped doing it for a little while, I really started to miss that social
Hmm.
connection and the conversation that you'd have with new people that you'd never met before. And so I thought, just start a podcast. Why not? Or just give this a whirl in the midst of like everything else going on. But it was just a really lovely way to be able to connect with other business leaders or people that I wanted to know more about or I respected or just wanted to learn from, really. I was quite blatant with my invitations of, I think you're doing an awesome job. What can you teach me? What can you teach my community? And so I had some amazing guests, but also it was just a lovely way to connect with people again.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, and that kind of continued actually for way longer than I thought it would. It ran, I've literally, the last episode went out a couple of weeks ago, which was Chloe Clover, who was awesome. Um, and we've put that on hold for a tiny bit because you'll know that we've developed into webinars over that same period. And the webinars have kind of taken on a life of their own. They're doing phenomenally well, and we're getting constant requests for them. And so I'm just trying to manage the two channels, really. Probably they'll merge into one, I would assume, over the next couple of months as we move forward with the new series of Level Up. But Level Up was very similar. We're building a marketing community at Fabric. We're all about empowering people with knowledge and expertise. And I wanted to go out to the people in the industry that I respected the most and bring their knowledge to our community. And so we choose people on specialist subjects who can really help our community with things they might be struggling with. So some of those things might be marketing tactics or specialist skills. Others just might be confidence building or networking skills. It's a real range of technical and kind of softer skills. But yeah, the two platforms have been amazing just to be able to continue that connection and to help share people's stories, really.
I think that's the clever way to spin it, because one of the big things I realized a while back is that, again, so when you do this, it has to be about the guest. It has to be all about you and your story. Because again, it's that brand awareness that hopefully people might know who I am, but actually they're tuning because they want to learn from you. And that's almost, when you're trying to create content, which is the classic thing about how do you, stand out and whatever. I love talking to people. So it's almost where I will happily talk. I only pick people I like. If there's someone I actually don't like, I don't do it. But, so I've learned so much about you today that almost I don't even care if nobody else watches it. This to me is fun and it has
Yeah.
value.
Yeah.
But then when you get to repurpose it and it goes on about 8 different channels, and today this is the first one going live on Instagram as well. It's just it's that learning curve that I love the learning side to it. Just try things and test things, and it's great to just to see that it goes well. Did you ever fear, or when because I know you do, I've been a guest on some of them, when you go live, do you still get nervous?
Always. I'm always terrified that one, the guest doesn't turn up, which we were just talking about before. Touch wood, that's never happened to me yet. But we did have one guest who literally arrived like 30 seconds before go live. So we were in the throes of plan B. What if they don't turn up? Which we always have a plan B just in case. And I always worry that the technical stuff is going to fail. I mean, I hate technology at the best of times, but particularly when you're doing a recording or a live webinar, which are what ours are. So yeah, I mean, it was interesting through lockdown because you got all sorts of, kids in the background, people walking around with no clothes on, deliveries at the door, all the kind of humorous stuff that we all very quickly got used to. But now I just, it's so important that the quality of the video and the audio is
Same.
right, because it just turns people off straight away if you can't get that right. 9 times out of 10, you've vetted your guests, so they're going to be a good conversationalist and they're going to be able to, hold their own. But the technology is always what terrifies me. I don't think I'll ever stop worrying about that.
It's things do go. I've had everything. There was a client who we live streamed a really fancy event, and this was like quite early on, and it was same kit, same stuff I use every day. And it was, we had MPs on the call, government ministers. It was quite a big deal. And I was manning it, and I knew exactly what I was doing. We prepped everything properly, and I used Max, and we got the umbrella wheel, and the software crashed, and my arse went through the floor. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But look, it was an offshore energy business thing, and you prep everything. But if something goes wrong, we'll solve it, turn it off, turn it back on again.
Yeah.
And it worked. But, I just, trust me, if it like this, if it fails, no harm done. But it was someone, it's so much pressure. But when talking to Chloe Clover, I've invited her on as a guest to do some live presenting, because that's a different gig altogether.
Yeah.
But actually, she likes pre-recording because she wants control of the edit and stuff.
Yeah.
I love the chaos.
Yeah, I'm all for the chaos. I'm fine with that. I think I mentioned to you before when we were chatting as well, one of my haven't done, I must have done maybe, 18, 20 podcasts at this point. So I thought it was pretty, au fait at it. I then had the lovely editor of High Life North on, Laura Kingston, who, lucky she is just so lovely, spent an hour and a half recording a podcast and realized her audio hadn't recorded. And I had to message her the next day and say, I'm so sorry, we're going to have to do it all again.
Do you do it in person, or do you do it over Zoom, or how do you do it?
No, we do it, we've always done it over Zoom. But yeah, shit goes wrong in life, doesn't it? Every single day something goes wrong. Something's a curveball that you weren't expecting. It's just part and parcel. So it's just about how you deal with it and fixing it.